Back in the 1980s, when rap was still young, one group stood out with a strong voice, deep lyrics, and raw street energy. This is the story of Boogie Down Productions, led by a powerful rapper known as KRS-One. He wasn't just an artist, he became a teacher, a leader, and a voice for the people. KRS-One, one of hip-hop's most powerful voices, was born as Lawrence Parker in Brooklyn, New York in 1965. From the very start, his life was shaped by challenges. Brooklyn was tough, but it was also full of sounds, street culture, and rhythm. As a child, Lawrence was curious. He asked deep questions, thought about the world around him, and was always searching for meaning in things others ignored. Though his family struggled, his spirit stayed strong and his mind stayed sharp. He was always watching, listening, and learning. Eventually, Lawrence moved to the Bronx, where the streets were rough and poverty was everywhere. But the Bronx was also where hip-hop was being born. On corners, people would rap, breakdance, and DJ just for fun, turning pain into power. The environment was raw and real, and it spoke to him deeply. For many kids, it was easy to fall into trouble. Lawrence faced the same risks. As a teenager, he left home and lived in homeless shelters. He had no bed, no money, and no direction. But even then, he had something powerful: his voice and his mind. While other teens gave up, Lawrence picked up books and notebooks. He started studying history, philosophy, and poetry. He was especially drawn to African heritage and stories of leaders like Malcolm X. Soon, people around him began to notice. His words weren't just clever, they carried truth. His voice wasn't just loud, it was full of purpose. In the shelter, he met a social worker named Scott Sterling, who was also a DJ. This meeting would change everything. Scott believed in Lawrence's passion and helped him shape his vision. Together, they formed a rap group called Boogie Down Productions. Lawrence chose a new name, KRS-One, which means knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. It wasn't just a name, it was a message. He wanted the world to see that education and self-awareness were the keys to power. Because he mixed rhymes with real knowledge, fans and artists began calling him the Teacher. He wasn't just rapping, he was sharing lessons. KRS-One used music as a tool to wake people up, especially those in poor and forgotten places. He showed that rap could be more than fun. It could also inspire change. From the shelters of the Bronx to stages around the world, KRS-One proved that no matter where you come from, your mind can lead you anywhere. His journey from pain to purpose became a shining example in hip-hop, and it all started with a boy who refused to stop learning. At a shelter, he met Scott Sterling, a social worker who was also a DJ. Scott believed in Lawrence's talent. Together, they formed Boogie Down Productions, also known as BDP. Scott became DJ Scott La Rock, and Lawrence took the name KRS-One. Their goal was clear: use music to speak truth and fight injustice. In 1987, they dropped their first album, Criminal Minded. It was raw, bold, and real. The lyrics talked about street life, violence, and survival. It also featured sounds from reggae and rock. Songs like South Bronx and The Bridge Is Over shook the rap world. They started a famous battle with MC Shan and the Juice Crew, defending their hometown and culture. Everything was starting to come together for Boogie Down Productions. Their music was getting respect, their message was spreading, and fans were beginning to understand what they stood for. The mix of hard beats, street truth, and intelligent lyrics was something fresh. At the center of it all were two people: KRS-One, the voice of the streets, and DJ Scott La Rock, the calm, focused producer who believed in change. Together, they were more than just artists. They were a movement. But just as the light began to shine, darkness arrived. In 1987, a moment of kindness led to a terrible event. DJ Scott La Rock was trying to help a young friend who was caught in a personal problem. He stepped in to guide, not fight. But during this attempt to help, gunfire broke out. A bullet took Scott's life, just as his career was taking off. The news shocked everyone in the hip-hop world. For many, Scott was a peaceful soul in a violent world. For KRS-One, he was not just a friend, he was family. the person who saw his potential when no one else did. The loss hit KRS-One hard. It was more than heartbreak. It was like losing a part of himself. Scott had given him support when he was homeless, hungry, and unknown. Now that same friend was gone forever. KRS-One was left with grief, questions, and memories. In moments like that, many people fall apart. Some walk away, some give up. For a short while, everything seemed frozen. The music, the hope, the future, it all stood still. But KRS-One was different. He didn't want Scott's death to be just another sad story. He wanted it to mean something. Instead of quitting, KRS-One made a choice that would shape the rest of his life. He turned his sadness into strength. He promised himself that his music would now carry a deeper purpose. No longer would he only talk about street life. He would speak about peace, justice, and knowledge. He began creating what he later called edutainment, education through entertainment. His lyrics began to ask questions, challenge systems, and teach lessons. Every beat carried a message. Every verse had a goal. He wanted to wake people up, to make them think before they act, and to show a better way. Through this new direction, KRS-One found a bigger mission, one that reached beyond music charts or fame. He started speaking in schools, writing books, and building movements. He reminded fans that words have power, and artists have responsibility. And he always carried the memory of DJ Scott LaRock with him. Every show, every song, every interview was a way to keep his friend's legacy alive. What began with a tragic gunshot turned into a lifelong journey of teaching, healing, and growing. KRS-One didn't just survive the loss. He transformed it into something meaningful, and in doing so, he helped reshape hip-hop forever. After Scott's death, KRS-One changed direction. His music became more thoughtful, more educational. He started what he called edutainment, a mix of education and entertainment. Albums like By All Means Necessary and Ghetto Music spoke about poverty, racism, police, and history. He wanted to make listeners think, not just dance. KRS-One also helped start the Stop the Violence movement. He brought together rappers to promote peace in the Black community. They released a powerful track called Self-Destruction. It wasn't just a song, it was a message. He showed that rap could be used for good. After a few more albums, Boogie Down Productions came to an end, but KRS-One kept going as a solo artist.
From the shelters of the Bronx to the global stage, KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions proved that hip-hop could educate, empower, and inspire. Like, share, and subscribe for more true stories from the heart of hip-hop.